So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here, for taking part in this first PRISMA UMM Unfolded webinar. Before we start, I would say, let us introduce ourselves. So I am Sabrina. I am one of the latest joiners here at PRISMA and one of the latest joiners in the customer success team.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dede. I'm from the product management team.
So, before we start, I have a couple of things that I want to point out to you. First of all, the webinar is recorded and will be stored for future trainings, will be sent out to you as well. So if you don't wish to be recorded, if you don't want your voice to be recorded, please keep in mind to just write in the chat. Second thing that I would like you to remember is that we have a question and answer session at the end of the webinar. So please keep your questions for the end. You will be able to either write to us in the chat or you can use the raise hand functionality if you wish to speak directly. So what are we going to talk about today? As you all know about this new functionality, this PRISMA UMM that has been developed, we will start by taking a look at the story behind this PRISMA UMM. We will then go on with the advantages that this functionality has for you, and we will take a look at the main features and how to use them. This will also include a live demo that our Dede will show to you. At the very end, as already mentioned, there will be this question and answer session. So now I say I'll leave microphone and camera to my colleague, Dede.
Good morning again, everyone. Thank you, Sabrina. As Sabrina already mentioned, we will start to share you a bit about the background story behind the PRISMA UMM. So at the very beginning, we had a UMM channel that existed in our platform. However, it's quite very difficult to use and not very user-friendly. That's why we decided that to move the UMM channel into the corporate side. And at some point, these two existing UMM were being used, and it created confusions among our users because one subscribed only in the platform, but not in the corporate side, which as a result, they miss some UMMs. And there were some ideas that we thought about that let's make this current UMM channel better, improve it, and perhaps we can create it into one single UMM channel. The corporate side UMM is better than the previous platform UMM channel. However, it has also its own limitations. And during our idea phase, ESER introduced a new regulations for publishing the inside informations. They said that for publishing the inside informations, it must be done via inside information platform in form of origin market messages. And we thought okay, since ESER released new regulations and we can also develop the UMM channel that can be used for our customers as well. So we developed a UMM PRISMA UMM page based on the requirements from ESER. Thus, this UMMs has a compliance from ESER. And it's compulsory for all market participants, including PRISMA. So the idea of this PRISMA UMM that is not only for us to use, but also we can extend the service to our customers. So basically, this is what PRISMA UMM is about. It's a new service for publishing and retrieving PRISMA UMM related and potentially our operators market UMMs related. This is part of the PRISMA basic service so that our customer can use it freely. Now let's move on to the next slide. So I was just talk about, I was just explain to you about what PRISMA is and then what PRISMA UMM is and also the background story behind it. So, but what is the advantages for you? What are the advantages for you? So the first point will be that this PRISMA UMM channel is integrated within the platform. What it means that all your PRISMA business activities related will be in one place. So you can do your auctions, you can do your other stuff there also, but then you can also check the UMM publications from us or potentially from the operators. And the second thing is that we have introduced new features. So comparing to the corporate side, we have added some new features in PRISMA UMM. For example, the filter functionality. I will explain more about this in the next slide. And once our operators will publish their UMMs in PRISMA UMM page, then this service can become the single source of information because you can receive the PRISMA UMM related information and also the operators, which increase more transparency in the information and also is easier to access the accurate information. This leads to quicker business decision making from your side, so that you don't need to go to different source of information, for example, the operator website, in order to gather UMM related information. So all will be in our PRISMA UMM page. As I mentioned before, we introduced new features in our PRISMA UMM page. So first is the filter functionality. So as a user, you can filter the UMM based on your filter criteria selections. And then afterwards, if you like, you can also export this result if you want to do, let's say, further analysis on these UMMs. And we also introduced a UMM history. So what means that it will show you all the changes for this particular UMM. So what kind of information has been updated. So you can see literally like from the beginning of the message until if there is a second or third versions of the UMM itself, so that you don't lose track of it. And last but not least is the RSS feed. I think you kind of like familiar with this functionality. So basically you can subscribe to our PRISMA UMM RSS feed, and then you will retrieve automatically the UMM feeds in your RSS reader. So now I will show you how it's done in the live demo. So I'm just changing my screen. Okay, just 1 second. All right. So let's say that you are in the platform right now, and you can access the UMM page without even logging into the platform. So this is quite like open for public. And here, this is the landing page of our PRISMA UMM. So this page is divided by two main sections. So the first section is the filter functionality, and then the second section is the UMM informations. So as you can see here, these are like the snapshots of the UMM's information. So you only see the important informations of this particular UMMs. You can see the title, you can see who published this UMM, you can also see the event period, when this UMM will be, when this event will be happening, and also the status of this particular UMM. So let's talk about the filter functionality. Let's say I would like to see the UMM from PRISMA only. So I'll just type here, I will click on the PRISMA European Capacity Platform, and I would like to see the UMMs that will be happening from today until Friday. And then I click on filter. And then you will it will filter the result based on my selections. So as you can see that this is on the publishing is the PRISMA European Capacity, and then it's within the selected filter criteria for the event period. So this is one of the functionality. You can also choose from the different information type. Let's say now if I go to reset and I just like to have other market information type. So if I filter it, and then I will just see the other market information type. So this is one of the functionality that we have. And the next thing will be the CSV export. So there's the bottom of the page, you have this CSV export. You just click on it, and then it will automatically download all this result here. Just keep in mind that this export you will see the result of the export different to the page, because here in the page we only display the latest versions of the UMMs. And as you can also see here that we order it based on the most recent publication. So if there is new UMMs created, it will be on the top of the page, and also that it will only show the latest version of the UMM. So if there's any update, it will not be showing here unless this update is the latest versions of the UMM. And we move on to the next features that I want to show you. It's called UMM history. So this is the detail page of the UMM. As I told you before, that in the list page is mostly the showing only the snapshot information. And here that you see the detailed information. So in this case, for example, that this is the UMM regarding the COVID-19. And here there is a link, or like a link to open regarding the history of the UMMs. So here you can see that this is the original message, the version 1, and then the user updated this message, and you can see what has been changed. So you can see that the title has been changed, the remark has been changed, and obviously the event stop has been changed. And here is the latest version, so the version 2. So this is, I think, is quite very useful functionality, because then you can track the changes of this particular UMM. And for example, if this UMM is really like important to you, you can also copy the link and share it to your colleagues, and then you can always refresh the link, and then if there's any updated or any changes, you will also see here. Right. So this is that was the UMM history functionality. And last but not least is the RSS feed subscription. Sorry. So as a user, you can subscribe to our RSS feed, and then you will retrieve this UMM feeds information. So if there's any like newly created UMMs, any let's say updated UMMs, or even dismissed UMM where the publisher canceled the message, you will receive this in your RSS feed reader. And there are like different options to how to do this. You can, depending on your RSS feed reader, the feed will be showing differently. So for this purpose, for the webinar purpose, Sabrina will show you quickly how this is done in Teams. So in Teams, there is RSS feed reader applications, and we just like wanted to show you how our RSS feed looks like. But before that, let's go back to the presentations. So. I would like to say a couple of things here. Please keep in mind that, okay, yeah, sorry. Please keep in mind that the current PRISMA UMM is an MVP version, so which means that we still need to do some improvements, and we would like to gather feedback from you guys, suggestions that what we can improve for our current MVP versions. And another thing I like to say that we still keep the corporate side UMM channel existed, because that this will be act as a backup solution. So in case that the PRISMA UMM services becomes unavailable, then we will use the corporate side to publish our PRISMA UMM related. So as I mentioned before, Sabrina will show you this regarding the RSS Feed Reader. So please, Sabrina.
Okay. So now I will show you how to use this functionality, the RSS Feed Reader in Teams. We've decided to use Teams as an example because ever since the outbreak this year, we've been using Teams a lot. So we thought that maybe you're using it too, so we just want to show you how you can use the functionality here. So what you need to do is go to the apps section and look for the RSS Feed Reader. Then you need to add it to a team, and you have to type in the name of the team to which you want to set up the connection. Afterwards, you need to give it a name, and you need to insert the address, so the link, in this case, our UMM link. And you can also decide with which frequency you want to receive the information. So let's say every 30 minutes, then you save it, and you will have the information look like that. So this is how you can use the RSS Feed Reader in Microsoft Teams. So, as far as we are concerned, our presentation is over. Now we'll begin with the question and answer section. So as said, please either write the questions in the chat or in the question box, or ask to talk through the raise hand functionality. I hope you've seen, I also wrote that the presentation is available in the handout section. So. So, Dede, we have one question, which is, are you planning to enlarge the service also to UMM Power, or just remain focused on UMM Gas and UMM Other Market Information?
Yes, so thank you for the questions. We will only be focusing on the gas market and other market informations at the moment. For the future, I don't think that we will move to the power, because our PRISMA is only for the gas market. So at the moment, we only use it, only offer the service for the gas market and other market informations.
So somebody else wrote if it's possible to receive instruction on how to configure RSS in Teams. You will see the video, again, the one that I've showed you in the presentation. We will also consider maybe writing a short article, but I think you can very easily retrieve that information in Google. Anyway, you will have the video available. Are there any more questions on your side? We have another question, Dede. Does it include gas storages?
Yes. So what I mentioned about the operators, so this also included the TSO and also the SSO. So please reach to us that if you like to have more information about how to publish your UMMs in our PRISMA UMM page. But this functionality also extended to our TSO and SSO.
I see no other question, except for thanks a lot. So
I think we could finish earlier than expected.
Yeah, if we don't have any more questions, I would say so. Can wait a little bit more. Okay, so I see only thank you messages. So far, so good. I am glad that it was clear. I'm glad that it was good. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us in case you have any more questions. You have my email address, but you can also retrieve anybody this email address. As said, you will receive the recording of this section. You have the PowerPoint presentation in the handout section, which you can download. And well, then the only thing that we can say is thank you for taking part in it. And well, have fun using the PRISMA UMM section.
Thank you, guys.